Alright, this is the Sony Xperia E1 from 10 years ago. Let's talk about it. And even when this phone can't be your daily drive today, it still has a few cool things we can talk about as you're about to see in a minute. And by the way, don't ask me where I got this phone from because it's kind of a long story. But anyways, let's dive deeper into the video. Alright, let's kick off with the specs of this phone. So the Sony Xperia has a 4-inch display, pretty small as compared with the phones today, and it has over like 512 MBs of RAM. That's too less, not even a GB. So basically you can't run any of the modern games today on this phone, and a 3 megapixel camera. And this is really crazy because when you look at the phones of today have over 200 megapixels, 48 megapixels, that's the iPhone, and this has only 3 megapixels. This is crazy. And when it comes to the processor, this phone has a dual core processor, which is pretty good for such a phone. And when we try to compare this phone to the modern day phones, I mean, it is a no match, but then it still has this one little thing that I really find cool about it. See, when you're going through the pictures on this phone, it has a little lead light down here that keeps on changing the colors every time you change the picture, and I find that cool. I mean, not even today's phones do have such a thing, but I find it cool. I mean, as you change the pictures, the lead light keeps on changing the colors, and it also happens when you're playing the music on this phone. I also find that feature pretty cool on this 10-year-old phone. And even when today's phones have like really huge displays, this one has only a 4-inch display, and the advantage about this one, it's like pocket friendly. I mean, it can easily slide into your pocket, which is definitely cool. I mean, who doesn't want such a phone that easily fits in their pockets? Talking about the software experience of this phone is shipped with a Android 4.3 Jerry Bean. That's the software, and if you compare that with the latest software, which is Android 13, it's a very big gap in between there. And the funny thing about this is when you check in the phone settings, that like this is the latest update they got for this particular kind of phone. So I mean, someone tells Sony some of us are still using these phones and we need a software update. Alright, jokes aside, one thing I found out is that there is a certain simplicity to the older versions of softwares that some users still miss. I mean, when you look at the current softwares like Android 13, they're like too complex. I mean, a lot of customization, a lot of crazy stuff that even some users don't need. But then these older versions of softwares are way simple and even easy to interface with. And also tell me what you think about this in the comment section, because this is my personal opinion. And one last thing I wanna say, this phone is a perfect example to show us how much tech can evolve in just 10 years. I mean, this is a phone from just 10 years ago. Look at how creepy it is, and compare it with the current phones we have today, and look at how cool they are. So it's basically too crazy how you can imagine the evolution of technology in just 10 years. This is hyper crazy, man. And thanks so much for watching. Have a nice one. And don't forget to subscribe because it makes my mom happy.